Good morning everybody and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. club. I come to you from a top of the world, from on top of the world here on the on the Sydney Harbour Bridge. I'm on the Sydney Harbour Bridge walk, and it's a new start, it's a new day, and as you can see we've got the magnificent Opera House silhouetted against that orange glow. There's a little bit of cloud in the sky, but it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful start to a new day, and the city is slowly starting to wake up. The traffic is starting to build, and Sydney is slowly getting ready to take on the challenges of a new beautiful day. Anyway, this morning what I want to do is do a walk and talk style of vlog, and have a chat to you about a topic which I've got near and dear to my heart. And what I want to do today is recount an experience that I had many years ago as a young man growing up, and some lessons learnt from a great uncle of mine whose name was Vlasi Papadopoulos. What I loved about my uncle Vlasi was that he was always very, very positive, always upbeat, and always had something good to say. And one of the most important lessons I learned from him was to never, ever get offended with what other people say, and to respect everybody's views, regardless of how different those views are. I remember Theo Vlasi used to come to our house basically every night back in the 70s and 80s, and we'd sit and talk every night virtually. He'd be there every night back in the days when people smoked and drank inside of houses, and he'd be sitting there. He'd come to our house with not one but 2 packets of cigarettes. And my first job when he came in the door was to pour him a glass of scotch with ice, and we'd sit down, he'd light up a cigarette, and we'd just start chatting and talking about any topic with my father, mother and he. And basically we'd be there for an hour or two, having a good old laugh, a good old-fashioned laugh. It was back in the days when you didn't make appointments to catch up with friends and family. You just dropped by. You just got in your car, went to their place, knocked on the door, and arrived unannounced, because every house was a welcoming place. Every house was a safe house, so to speak, for family and friends, and family and friends could just turn up and feel as if they're at their own home. Anyway, so let's peel the onion and talk a little bit more about Theo Vlasi and his philosophy for life. Basically, his philosophy was very, very simple, and that was to be cordial, to be friendly with everybody, and to welcome people's views, and not get into violent argument, because it just wasn't worth it. I asked him once, I said, Theo Vlasi, to prangma po agapau ya cena, what I love most about you, Uncle Vlassi, is that you never ever seem to get offended. Δεν παρεξηγέσαι με το τίποτα, του έλεγα. Με τίποτα δεν παρεξηγέσαι. Με κανέναν και με τίποτα. And he used to laugh. I remember his laugh. And his laugh was a genuine laugh. And he said to me, he goes, Dimitraki mo, Jimmy, he says, the reason why I don't get offended with anybody is because if I decided to get offended with everything everybody said, then guess what? I wouldn't have any friends, I wouldn't have any family, and I wouldn't have any company ever. Because there's always something that somebody says that you can misconstrue, you can look at the negative side of it, you can overthink it, and before you know it, you're in argument, you're in debate, and then you're defensive, they're defensive, and the night turns into an absolute disaster. And guess what? In that situation, nobody benefits, nobody gains, and life becomes miserable. You become limited in terms of where you can go, what you can talk about, and what you can do. However, he said, if you're an open sort of character, αν είσαι ανοιχτός χαρακτήρας και δεν παρεξηγέσαι με το τίποτα, and you don't get offended with every minor thing that people say, then you're going to be welcomed everywhere. People are going to love your company, and you're basically going to enjoy life without living a misery. Because realistically, there were many people who used to take offence with what people would say, what people would do, what people would think. But they're the people who were the people with the small village-style mindset that never got on with anybody, and always thought that people were their enemies, or people thought that they were there to come and take their property, or take this or take that, and basically lived a closed life and a life in isolation, a life where they couldn't exchange ideas, they couldn't exchange valuable lessons, and basically became recluses in their own lives and prisoners of their own opinions. So how do we use this, young people? The best way to use it is to be like Theo Vlassi, to be open with your views, open with your opinions, and not to take offence, not to be brittle, not to be very overly, not to be overly sensitive with what people say, and to try and look for the good and look for the common ground. Anyway, I think we'll finish off there for now, but as you can see here, we've got the harbour bridge, we've got the beautiful lights, we've got a magnificent sunrise happening with the orange glow across this magnificent city, and people are getting up, getting ready, walking across the bridge and starting their days, or their day should I say. So don't be an island, don't isolate yourself, don't look for opportunities to get offended, because by doing so you're going to limit what you're able to do and who you're able to socialise with. So the big lesson here is to don't take offence at the drop of a hat. Be like Theo να μην παρεξηγέσαι με το τίποτα. Να έχεις ανοιχτό χαρακτήρα, to be an open character, to be an open book, and to laugh at everything. If somebody says something which is silly, just laugh and enjoy it rather than analyze it and take it apart. Let's finish off with our positive affirmation for this beautiful day, which is just kicking off. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To all my friends and family, stay alive, stay connected, and stay relevant. And the way you stay relevant is by being like Theo being a person who likes being with people, enjoys their company, enjoys chatting, and most importantly, is a person who doesn't take offence, who enjoys listening and talking with people, seeking out their opinions, chatting about their opinions, but without being overly sensitive and taking offence. Anyway, until tomorrow, I look forward to chatting to you again. This is Jim signing off from Jim's 5 a.m. Club, and I encourage anybody who lives in Sydney, come down to the city, come up onto the bridge and just walk from the city to North Sydney and back. It's only a couple of Ks, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. You hear the hum of the traffic, you get to see the ferries, you get to see the city in all its glory, and it's something that I highly recommend. Take care, have a beautiful day, and once again, sa sagapao, I love you, and I look forward to chatting to you again on another magnificent morning. Bye for now, Yasos.